Good morning, everybody, and welcome to International Vulture Awareness Day here at Liberty Wildlife. We have three types of vultures here in Arizona. We have the California condor with the huge 9-foot wingspan. We have a turkey vulture and we have a black vulture. Today I'm showing you Bailey, who is a turkey vulture. And Bailey came to us. He is 34 years old. He was born at the Phoenix Zoo. His mom and dad were there, and the person who started Liberty Wildlife, Dr. Orr, was a vet there. And they decided that after he was born, he figured out very quickly that people equals food, so he became an imprint. Imprints are dangerous to release into the wild because they have no fear of humans, and they expect to get fed from humans, and they don't really understand their species. So we don't release imprints into the wild because of that. And they already had two vultures. They had mom and dad, two turkey vultures, mom and dad. So they were like, what to do with Bailey. So Dr. Orr took him to her facility, the start of Liberty Wildlife, and he's one of our first educators there. So Bailey is, like I said, a turkey vulture. He is the guy that you guys see in the middle of the summertime. And I don't know everybody who's in Arizona. In Phoenix, it's going to be like 111 again today. But he's the guy in the sky soaring, with those dark wings, dark on the top, kind of gray on the bottom. But he's not really black. I'll show you his back area. He's kind of like a brown, blue, iridescent type color. So he's not really black, although he looks super dark in the sky. And the reason he's doing that is because he needs to warm himself up, believe it or not, even in Phoenix. He will actually bring his body temperature down 10 or 11 degrees at night, and in the morning he'll fan his wings out to grab that sun to warm himself up. That helps him a lot for a couple things, and to warm himself up, and also in the middle, if he's eating, he's going to want that sun on his head to burn away some of that dead, decaying stuff. That's right, people. He does not catch or chase animals. He's so gross. How can you even? He's just not that cute. To us, we think he's gorgeous. He is maybe a face that only a mother could love. But the reason his head is bald and the vulture's head are bald, and the feet aren't those graspy hawk feet where they could kill things, is because he jumps into things that are already dead. So his face is bald, his feet are open, and he's able to jump in, pick apart really with his really sharp beak. He can pick apart and things that are already dead. I don't worry so much about his feet here because, like I said, he doesn't have those hawk feet. He's actually got that longer toe to actually be able to grasp. And with us, we kind of worry about his beak. His beak is what has all the strength. And vultures, actually, if you can kind of see his nostril, they actually have a really good sense of smell. And you can see that big old nostril there. I can almost see you through the nostril. And that gives him a really good sense of smell. He has a better sense of smell than the black vulture, who you'll see in a minute. And we've actually tested him in the 60s. There was a huge gas line leak, and they put formaldehyde in the gas line, and within a couple hours, turkey vultures were circling. They were able to find that gas leak. So they're very sharp with their sense of smell. They'll find the dead thing first, and then maybe the other vultures will follow them. There is a myth that they are actually circling you as you die. That's not true. That's an old Western movie kind of thing. Whatever that red, dead, rotting, decaying stuff, and that's how they get their food. All right, his head is red just like his feet, but you can look at his feet and they kind of look white. Well, that's because he just did it. Well, almost on cue. That's because he does poop or defecate on them. He does that for two reasons: to clean off his feet and to cool himself down. Now, like I said, he eats dead, rotting, decaying stuff, so whatever goes in can be disgusting, and just really things just don't bother him. Diseases and stuff just don't bother him. It goes into his highly enzyme stomach, breaks it down, and whatever comes down is completely purified or clear.
Doris Tifa Jones says hello.
Hi, Ty.
And anyone else, if you want to shoot out some questions.
No hard questions, Ty.
It's too early in the morning for hard questions. But if anybody has any questions about Bailey or our turkey vultures, before we head on over to a black vulture.
Yeah, you can get, this guy's been educating way longer than me, so you can get pretty close with him. He's good with it. He might even take the microphone and start talking. All right, Ty, I have a question for you. Why did the turkey vulture cross the road? She doesn't know.
No answer.
No answer? Yeah, because the chicken didn't make it. All right, we'll let Ann come in and talk a little bit about it.
Is he heavy? That's a good question for you. Are they heavy?
Turkey vulture, 3 pounds. Black vulture, 4 pounds. So this beautiful girl is Armadillo. She is a black vulture. She came to us from the World Bird Sanctuary in St. Louis. And she's been captive all of her life, so she was doomed to be a teacher right from the start, because if you are born in captivity, you can't be released. So Doris said most of the things about vultures. The one thing that's a little different about the black vultures is you don't see them as many turkey vultures. Turkey vultures all over North America, so they're in Canada, United States, and into Mexico. These guys, a little bit in Arizona, Gulf Coast, and up the East Coast. And some places like Ohio and whatever, we'll see black vultures also, but they're mostly a Gulf Coast thing. So if you're in Florida, where Doris is from, I'm sure she'd seen a lot of black vultures in her time there. One of the differences, if you're looking for these birds in the air, is the black vultures have white wingtips underneath. It's actually not white, it's an iridescent white. It's not on the top side, it's only on the bottom side. So if you see them circling overhead, to look for the white wingtips is to tell you that it's not a turkey vulture, it's a black vulture. The other thing is, because the bird's a pound heavier, it tends to flap a lot more. And for her size, her wings aren't as large as a turkey vulture is, so she has to work a lot harder to stay in the air. So if you're seeing black vultures and turkey vultures circling together, you look for the one who flaps a lot and has the white wingtips, and those are your black vultures. They also have much shorter tail, so the tail doesn't stick out nearly as far, and it's straight across the back. So when she's flying, you'll actually see her feet sticking out beyond her tail. She also has a naked head, different color, not red like the turkey vultures, but black. The trick question here is, in the first year, their heads are black. They're not red. So superficially, they can kind of look like a black vulture, but in their next year, they'll start to have a red head and red legs, which also helps to differentiate the two. Nothing in my pocket. They both do eat dead food, so they're carrion eaters. The little bit of a difference with a black vulture is a black vulture, if it's hungry enough, will kill small things, like it will kill frogs or fish or something like that. So they are capable. They also are a much more aggressive bird. And because they don't have the sense of smell that the turkey vulture does, they tend to follow the turkey vultures, use their sense of smell and their eyesight to find food. Then because they're heavier and more aggressive, they'll come in and actually take what the turkey vulture finds. So if you come back as a vulture, you might want to come back as a black vulture instead of turkey vulture, because you get to eat more food that way. The one story that I like about black vultures is when we were flying the space shuttles in Florida, they were always worried about black vultures having collisions with the shuttles when they're taking off. So there was some poor guy who worked for NASA, and it was his job 2 to 3 days before a liftoff to drive around the Cape and look for roadkill and pick up the roadkill to discourage the black vultures from being near the flights, so that when the space shuttle took off, they had fewer collisions that might knock a tile off the shuttle and make it unsafe to land. So yeah, so there was a guy who was like a dead animal scooper guy to keep the black vultures away, which is one of my favorite stories. And actually, I would probably do that job. That would be okay. Anything to save a vulture, right?
We do have a question about their food.
Their food, okay.
What is the favorite food? Is there a favorite food besides dead?
No, they'll eat just about anything. So you'll find them standing on a dead deer that's been hit, dead cattle. In fact, that's gotten them into mischief over time, because people have misunderstood when they see a vulture on a stillborn calf. The impression 100 years ago was that they were killing the cattle, killing the calves, when the truth was they were just cleaning up after birth of cattle, or they were eating the stillborn calves. And so a lot of them were persecuted for a very long time because people misunderstood and thought they were actually killing the livestock when they were just cleaning up the livestock. So, so no, they'll eat pretty much anything.
We do have, James is wondering if at Liberty Wildlife right now we have any California condors. I don't know if you can answer that.
I believe Jan said that we have 2 of them. They're on the other side of the property, so they're not on the education side at this point. And so I'm never actually sure. But we do usually have at least one most of the time. They do get into a lot of mischief, usually lead poisoning. Yeah, they're ingesting lead, and the lead poisoning is a problem for the turkey vulture. If they eat some kind of a carcass that's been shot with a lead bullet, and they ingest the fragments, it takes something the size of a BB to kill a bird the size of a condor. You know, it will kill them. It gets in their bloodstream. So yeah, bad stuff. Bad stuff.
Irene Steinman, who happens to be my mother, says there are lots of turkey vultures on Anna Maria Island, Florida, where they spend a lot of time, and they always welcome the tourists to the beach. Are they pretty wary of humans? Are they adaptable to being around us?
They will be around people fairly readily. As long as somebody doesn't run them off, they'll hang out on the roof of your house, which creates great dismay for a lot of folks. So they do get used to being around people. But they'll never hurt anybody or anything. And if someone gets too close to them, they'll just do what birds do and just fly away, make the space comfortable for them.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you all for joining us for International Vulture Appreciation Day.
Yay, vultures.
We will be reopening after a little bit of COVID reorganizing again in October. So stay tuned to our webpage and social media for information about when you'll be able to visit us again and come see Army and Bailey. We also have on our webpage a tab under education that says kids activities, and we've got coloring pages and games having to do with Vulture Appreciation today. So go ahead and check that out, and hopefully we will see you all soon. Have a great Vulture Appreciation Day.